So don't think that it's any surprise to marketers in 2019 that we have to provide some sort of value to our audience. And there's a lot of talk about content, and I think a lot of people get frustrated about it because it's just a constant push to just put out content, put out valuable content. And I could certainly relate because I'm making these videos regularly, but I know a lot of people are frustrated by it. They don't want to have to keep up with the never-ending cycle. But providing value in some way does make sense. We've been talking about it a long time, and the way that Gary Vaynerchuk, Gary V, some of you may know, the way he described it was jab, 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 right hook. I am pretty sure I would not know how to punch someone if I tried. The analogy was that you can't just keep hitting your potential customers over the head with sales pitches in all of your marketing. That doesn't work anymore. And if you do that, the audience that you have is not going to remain your audience for very long. People are going to unfollow you and stop paying attention. You really want to provide value because you have to earn the respect and the trust of your audience. And other people put it as you don't want to ask someone to marry you on the first date. That obviously seems like a no-brainer, and when we think about our sales pitches for our business, you can really say, oh, I need to earn the trust of this audience member first before I even ask them to buy anything that I'm selling. So I know it can be intimidating to get started with video in your marketing, especially if you haven't done it before, but you're in luck if you have been creating some sort of other content. Because I think that there are a lot of smart ways that we can reuse other types of content and turn them into videos. And going forward, there's other mediums that really lend themselves really easily to turning them into video content as well. One of the more obvious ones is being able to turn old blog posts that you might have into video content. This doesn't have to be super complicated, but just knowing that while Google is the #1 search engine, YouTube is actually the second. So you might be ranking for a blog post on certain keywords on Google. So why don't you take that blog post that does really well and turn it into a video? That way YouTube will go through and see what you're actually saying in your video, and it might find that the wording is exactly the same as the blog post, and now you get to rank on those same keywords in YouTube as well as Google. And probably the best part about that is you don't have to come up with the concept for what you're going to actually make in a video. Similarly, you might have keynote speeches, you might have presentations, seminars, lectures, all those kinds of things for your business. You can also turn those into video, or maybe you even have recordings of those videos. Maybe you want to edit those together into something and put them out into the world so that you can get more attention on your content. But maybe your brand doesn't have, a past library of content. That's okay too. And as you go to start looking into using video more often in your business, you might see that it either takes you a lot of time or it costs a lot to hire someone to do it. So I always encourage people who are doing video to come up with creative ways to reuse certain pieces of a piece of content that you're creating. So what that means is maybe you're making a 5-minute video for your website. While you have all the lights, camera, and sound equipment set up, you think about what else you can record. Or you take that 5-minute video and you look for 15 to 30 second chunks that you could edit down into Facebook ads. And finally, there might be other types of content that you're already creating regularly that you can easily turn into video content. The best example here is if you already record a podcast regularly, you might be able to set up a camera or two and live stream that recording. So you live stream that recording to Facebook Live, Instagram Live, YouTube Live, LinkedIn Live. Basically any platform that has video does some sort of live video at this point. So you can stream to one or multiple of these places while you record the podcast, and people just put up the unedited audio as a podcast to iTunes and Stitcher, all those places. And then you also have this video file that you don't have to edit that can stay online forever. I'm pretty sure this is the best example of killing two birds with one stone that I could think of. Another example is if you're giving a speech or a lecture, you're doing a workshop, something with a live audience. I would definitely recommend taking some resources and making sure you have a camera there, making sure you at least record audio, because that can easily be turned into a podcast. It can be easily turned into little sound bites that can go on your website or can go into videos in the future. Basically, if you're already going through all of the work to do a lecture, to speak in front of people, why not capture that and have it be content for you that you don't have to create separately from what you're already doing? So those are some thoughts around content. I hope that that makes things a little bit less intimidating. There are some ways that you can kind of cross over, that video doesn't have to be its own thing completely. It can be kind of just one piece of your content calendar. And it doesn't necessarily have to take a ton of work of brainstorming ideas and constantly be putting out videos. But you definitely can make videos super regularly every day, multiple times a day if you want to. It's really tough, and some days I just don't want to do it, but you might have more of a drive than I do. I don't know. I'll be honest here, coming up with ideas of what to make for content every single day and to actually make videos that same day is very exhausting. There's a reason why people kind of batch videos together. Ooh, that's another idea. So if you have a production company that you're hiring, plan on making 4 videos at once when you have them set up, rather than just paying them for one. And for me, something seems inauthentic about batch making my videos and then kind of spacing them out. At this point in my life, I really wish I could do that, but I am just not willing to right now. But if you're feeling exhausted with content, that's probably the best way to do it, is to come up with those ideas, come up with a queue, and just schedule those things out to go up when you need them to go up. All right, I hope you got something out of this video. If you did, please hit that like button below. That helps me out. And if you want to subscribe to this channel, I will be having more content surrounding video marketing, video strategy, all of those sorts of things going forward. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you in the next one.